Yeah, I'm hoping for the same. Some good Counter-Strike versus mousesports. Obviously, the polls have been one of the sort of surprise factors here so far, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing if they can continue this reign. Now, if they were the sort of first team to actually get themselves into the playoffs, because that's what's on the line here, that would be incredible. That would be utterly incredible. A team that came through the qualifier to make it straight through. Obviously, some of our other qualifier teams are definitely struggling a little bit more. Like we've seen the likes of NIG, or like, well, they haven't been eliminated, but they came pretty damn close earlier in the day, facing off against Vici and fighting for survival. Obviously, other teams that sort of came through the qualifiers, Gambit, they've already gone out. Renegades as well were like in the qualifier, but got invited later on. They just about survived playing off against Gambit. So yeah, it's been tough times for these qualified teams. That's why we sort of have the qualifiers, like to sort of have, we've got our invite teams, the teams that have sort of shown their stuff already, and then some of the teams have the chance to fight through. AGO, well, and I would say Godsend, both been looking pretty good so far.
That they have, Tom, that they have. Let's take a look, though, at these maps. So Mirage is going to get picked up by AGO. Train pick coming in from mousesports. I'm curious where this third map is going to end up. Feels like it's been forever since I've seen Cash. Just played ever. We don't really see it anymore. And we're not going to see it again today.
We're not going to see it now.
So RIP Cash.
I actually don't like Cash.
I'm not too fond of it either. It's yeah, I can get behind it. I don't think many teams like it anymore, Tom. It used to be a map that came up all the time, and now we hardly ever see it.
I'm more than okay with that.
It was an old great, but
the only, I think actually, if I look at all of the maps currently in the pool, I think the only map I dislike more is Nuke. I'm just not a fan of it.
Just savage, just going in on all of them.
Oh, I like all the rest.
Big old middle finger.
All the rest are fine.
Big old middle finger to all the map creators out there from Tom Bismar.
Oh, you've given them my full name. What a shame. Well, actually, you haven't, but you've come pretty close. But yeah, no, I think that's a bold move, picking Mirage versus mousesports. Like, I almost wonder if Mouse sort of were looking at that going, right, we'll pick Mirage. Oh, okay, I guess we'll go with Train then. Like, it just seems like a little bit of a weird one, because it is like a map that mousesports are pretty damn good at.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty open and shut case on the back of the map picks, because these are mousesports' 3 best maps statistically when you take a look at it, Tom. And, I mean, we know, like, with Mirage, they're fantastic on it.
Yeah.
They're a very, very talented Train team as well. They like Inferno. I mean, it plays almost like a middle ground map between the two of them, right? So, yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be an uphill battle, to say the very least, if you are AGO. Or AGO, I don't know what you want to call it. I always say AGO.
I'm going to stick with AGO. I've said it since the first time I ever casted them, so I'm not going to change.
I actually really love this roster as well, because you and I, Tom, we got to saw these guys like rising up. Like we got to see them from the very beginning when this roster first came together. And we got to see them go from strength to strength, and that was just fantastic. Obviously one of the people you have in here, you and I always say it's like Furlan's revenge, because he used to be back in the old Kingwin lineup, and obviously he was kicked from there. Then he went and joined this ragtag bunch of misfits, and now they're the best team in Poland. That's actually HLTV official, in case you were curious.
I don't like.
I mean, yeah, undisputed, I think, anyway, right now.
But yeah, I don't think it needed to even be said.
It was like for the first time in like, I don't know, I think off the top of my head, it was like 2.5 years or something like that. VP slipped from being the best team in Poland, and now we're overtaken.
Well, it's also I think it was like the first time in maybe the same amount of time that they were like, they dropped to 20th in the rankings, like that, or something along those lines. Like they've always been like 19th or above. They've never dropped this low. So yeah, it really is a slump for Virtus Pro, but I don't want to use that to take anything away from AGO. This has been an incredible rise. We've seen them like getting to more and more tournaments and starting to really strut their stuff. The only thing that scares me about that is the fact that Virtus Pro do have quite a bit of moolah, or maybe looking at a couple of those players. I'm sure many people have been scouting Snatchy, a very prominent AWPer, and that's always one of the things that when it comes to VP, they've switched that so many times that maybe just having a man who you give it to every single time could actually be a nice little addition. But they also signed some very long contracts just after they started succeeding. I believe, well, at least they signed some new contracts. So I think that that's going to be very expensive. So at least for AGO as an org, they'll be sat there giggling to themselves, because they have definitely struck gold with this team. Because that is the fact, though. It was sort of a team almost of misfits. Like I've always joked about it being Furlan's revenge, but that really has been what it seems like. It's like Kingwin went, do you know what? We don't need you. We don't need you, Furlan. Go. And he's gone, all right. And then come back and made a team that, well, I don't want to harp on the Kingwin team, but it hasn't really come and done too much just yet, has it? They have managed to get Taz, which I think is a decent pickup for them. But it's sort of like a team of like players who've come from many different other lower Polish rosters, and not one that I think is going to end up at a $300,000 event, 2-0, and looking to face mousesports to get into playoffs. Like, that would be incredible. It would also be very interesting to see a different Polish team at the StarSeries playoffs, because that's one thing that Virtus.pro have been pretty good at achieving. I will say, I do remember one of my, it was one of my favorite years just because of the sort of comedic irony of it, which was that so the Palace, obviously, the pretty big space, and they had there's this massive curve on the building. And what they decided to do at Starladder was put this massive sign up advertising. Normally, there's like a small sign down the bottom, which everybody else uses. There's a massive, massive banner. On one side, they had a player from Virtus.pro, didn't make it to playoffs. On the other side, they had, I think it was Edward from Na'Vi, didn't make it to playoffs. So it was just 2 players who were not playing, and I found that funny.
Well, Tom.
I am a bad person, though.
Yeah, you know, that's obvious.
Money well spent.
Yeah.
They've invested their money much more wisely, I think, with this tournament, though. I love the sort of best of 3 Swiss system. I'm a big
100%.
fan.
It's so good. You know, you feel like every victory is earned, and even if there is one that slips through, and you're like, that's a clear upset. Teams have to work for them now, Tom. And you know, you've got 3 chances, right? If you get upset 3 times, then are they really upsets? That's how I think.
Well, that's the sort of thing. It's like in the past where you'd see like a team like Tyloo win a best of 1. Everybody, it's a best of 1. They fluked a map. Somebody didn't turn up. They're doing it in a best of 3, your excuses sort of go out the window, because you can still go, oh yeah, we had a bit of a bad day, but ultimately you lost 2 maps to them. So it's not like it takes away a lot of the sort of factor of just like excuses. And I like that. I'm not a fan of excuses, although I make many myself.
Well, this is Mirage for those of you who don't know. I imagine pretty much everyone does. Mousesports versus AGO going to be going on at map number 1. This is the map pick of AGO, interestingly enough. Many people would look at this, think this is a surefire Mousesports pick. It is one of their best maps. I think right now they are one of the best teams in the world on this map. So you've got to admire the balls on AGO to go for this pick. They're going to go running on in. And Sunny, he's trying to show us why he's considered to be so damn good. He sheds some light on the situation, but well, he's going to get traded out. Chris J. Is back with 1. The bomb plant looks to come through, and AGO are going to manage to get away with that.
Well, they do have a kit in this retake. It's on Stiko, who is looking to try and get back in. Snatchy has not been spotted. Chris J rounds the corner. An instant tap from the Glock is enough to bring it back to a 3 versus 2, but they've still got a hell of a lot of work to do to try and hold on to this site. Push already going to be coming in from CT. Tao does have himself the P250, a little bit of extra range, but they're just going straight for this defusal. Oscar misses a lot of shots, though. Gives an opportunity here, but the fact is the bomb's already been defused. They didn't know, or they didn't want to know, and Stigo will even finish things off with an extra kill towards the end of the round. Mousesports, they've taken themselves the Mirage, but the bomb does go down for AGO. And because of that, well, they can either go for a gamble investment here, or save all of that extra cash and combine it all to make some AKs a little bit later on. Do they want to gamble, Harry? No.
They don't, Tom. They're not gambling men. Instead, Mousesports should have an easy path here to finding a second round. Stiko and Robs are the 2 players with those SMGs. There's Snatchy, someone that's so often talked about within this roster on your screens right now. I always forget, is it Grooby? Or do you say just Grubby?
I think it's Grooby.
I
think it's like Grube or something like weird.
I
like
can't do the eh.
Yeah, no, I've had a lot of fans in the past tell me exactly how to pronounce it, and there will always be someone who tells you you're wrong. So I think Grooby is the safe one.
Okay, we'll go with Grooby.
You can't please all of the people all of the time.
Yeah, well, for me as well, if there were 2 Bs, it'd be Grubby. But there's just 1. So, second round on the board.
Also, he's capitalized it, which makes me think it's...
Maybe it's Grubai.
Grubai.
No, it is.
Oh.
It is just, yeah, anyway, look, doesn't matter. AGO, they're going to be buying up some AKs across the board.
That almost sounds like goodbye now. Goodbye. Or he's saying goodbye to Gru.
See, out here in Ukraine, they do love minions.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
We've got the Despicable Me banter here on the B stream. Well, we are into our buy round. We've got the AK-47s in onto AGO. A lot of players currently up in the Palace. Remaining players will rotate in on towards the ramp. There's not a whole lot of utility here for AGO, which is the big problem. There's one smoke, and that nade does catastrophic damage, but Furlan does even more. Oscar is down, Rops hiding in the corner. He is going to be checked and cleared out before he can do much more. However, Sunny does trade one, but it's a one and done. Steeko, well, just Steeko, as he's left into a 1v3. MP9 at range. He shouldn't be winning this battle, ever. The Shredder will try to do some work. There isn't much to be found, that's the real problem. A rifle would be the dream, but isn't looking likely. Now, of course, the early buy sort of reduces the amount of money that's been able to be made for mousesports. They should just be able to squeeze a buyout. I think they'll probably go for it. What do you think, Harry?
I think they'll go for a buy here, Tom. This was the attempt at the bonus round, right? They're going to get $1,400.
Will they go for a Gru buy?
Well, you know, probably not. They'll probably try and... yeah, I'm not going to carry on with that joke. It was good, though. Yeah, I think they do go for a buy here. You've got money on some players.
They only save those sort of strats for LAN.
It's just terrible. Just a terrible human being, really. But, yeah, Steeko actually able to drop an M4 over. He keeps himself on the MP9. Like I said, he's trying to be that supportive entity that the team needs. It's a very, very selfish act. To throw an M4 over, handicap yourself, only leave yourself with an MP9. Steeko does it. Instead, you can see Chris J. And the manning pressure, Steeko over here towards B. They're about to have players come their way. It's all eyes on Chris J. As Furlan looks to entry him with the AK. Aggressing forward. Comes out, Furlan ducks away from it, but well, they expect the bait and switch. Steeko holding close out on the platform, does manage one, and that's all he really needed to do. Furlan's able to trade. Chris J hiding in the smoke, running amok. Has to try and stay alive. He's not ready for Furlan, who's pushed up to the bench. Second kill of the round. Man advantage right now in favor of AGO. On the flank round behind, so 3-on-3. The bomb about to go down. But mousesports have been given plenty of time to rotate these players in. Not able to deny the bomb plant, but Oscar does find the kill. Furlan still on the bench. Tagged down, going to get finished off. It's Group 3, does manage to pull it back to a 1v2.
Yeah, both players tagged as well. He has a decent opportunity here. There isn't a kit for the CT side as of yet, but they'll hear the drop down. He gets sprayed, finds the first onto Oscar though. Left into the 1v1. Sunny rounds the corner, but Groovy finds both. It is going to be AGO clutching out around, and now the money for mousesports is in a bit of trouble. Now with the amount that's saved, Oscar already with enough cash that he can invest in WP. Normally I'd talk about the temptation to force. They only have one player surviving on the T side. If they win this round, they could reset them. But they'll get the loss bonus into the next, and they can afford an AWP alongside rifles on every single player. So not really worth the risk. So AGO very likely in this round to take themselves the lead. Wow.
Yeah, this is the shot for the Poles to go to grab themselves the lead in this round. As you say, Tom, bang on. Hit the nail on the head once again. Only up against these pistols, 3 PT50s. If you're a big Symmetry fan, you're going to love what's going on over on the side of mousesports.
If you're a big Symmetry fan. Some guy going, woo! Just wearing a shirt. Obviously, all symmetrical, of course.
Yeah.
That says, I love Symmetry.
Well.
Goes to Symmetry
amazing.
concerts where all the way along.
Oh, this just sounds like the best.
And obviously they have like the seating and standing, but it's in like sitting, standing, sitting, standing, sitting, standing, all the way along.
No, that's a terrible. Just do. Well, it depends on like the plane of you're looking in for it to be symmetrical through. But that's just having an order. That's not symmetry. Well, like it is also. Give up. Here we go. Sunny and Oscar, Steeko and Oscar. 5. I'd love to find some damage. I'd love to find something. Steeko lies in wait down here towards mid. Tara is going to walk his way. And as a result, Steeko will get beheaded, leaving Oscar 1v5. 3 players tagged down so low and they can't find any damage. AGO going to go and take the lead. They're going to go up 3-2, but now the buy comes in for mousesports.
Yeah, this is where they can get that trusty AWP in hand and look to try and break back. Because the fact is that too many rounds go the other way, and the T's will be building up. Oh, their logo looks badass in the spawn. I am a fan. I want that floating above my house.
See, I couldn't think of anything more terrifying than like some sentient logo floating
Who's gonna
above
rob my
me.
house if I've got that above it?
Who's going to rob your house anyway? You look like Phil Mitchell, Tom.
I do not look anything like. Well, maybe
Any
the
EastEnders
head
fans,
shape.
any EastEnders, like, because are going to be familiar. But hey, here's Sneeko. Look at him go. He's here as he shuts them down, pushing in.
That was a stretch.
He's he's going to go down at the hands of Furlan. It is everyone dead. My goodness, look at Furlan go. Just a slaying machine. So much money building up for AGO. And this is unexpected. This is meant to be one of the best maps for mousesports. They're meant to be one of the best Mirage teams in the world. Admittedly, looked a little bit flat on it every now and again. But AGO coming out the gate, and they're coming out the gate swinging. They look fantastic. They're able to keep, what, 4 players alive in that previous round once again. And now there's no money left for mousesports.
Yeah. Actually, I've always enjoyed watching Rops on this map, especially on the T side. So we'll see if his lurk can be as effective as ever. But really, they need to get some CT side rounds first. It is, of course, early days. We're only in round number 7. And they'll get their sort of proper full-fledged full buy going into the next round. So that'll be where mousesports can look to show Harry, at least, the doubt of what they've got. I just knew you'd hate me saying most people.
Yeah, it's fine. You know, I love every team. I love them all. I love Chi to open things up.
True.
Charging in towards his B-bomb site, and Sunny holding the angle with the Deagle. Behemoth with the Deagle. Not able to find anything right now, but hopefully he is Deagle inside.
Really, all this comes down to is trying to save a weapon, take away a little bit of extra money from AGO. The team with a lot more to prove, but at the same time with a lot less pressure. mousesports reigning champions. Also, already 2-0 in terms of the Swiss system, so nice to go through flawless. So I feel like there's plenty of teams that said they're going to do that, Avangard being one of them. But AGO, they've not gone into this with like, well, obviously they've gone into it confident, but they've not gone into it cocky. We saw from the interview, like obviously saying, okay, don't want to be playing against Liquid. They've looked incredible recently. We'd rather play mousesports, but even they're still a good team. Like we're not underestimating them by any stretch of the imagination. They've come out here 5-2 up. But now comes the big boy buy. You got Oscar, the primary AWP, Mr. J, or Dr. J. He's going to be pulling up the secondary. He's going to look to surgically remove some heads.
Indeed he is. He's just J-waiting that secondary AWP. I think they're one of the strongest double AWPs in the world right now. Chris J. Over here towards Apartments players coming his way, takes the peek in, finds the first. Oh, gonna miss the no-scope, he ducks on down. Furlan misses the opportunity. Steeko's there to bail him out, and now for the rest of the gang, Chris J is gonna go picking them off one by one. Him and Steeko combine in between them. They've shut down everyone on that B bomb site push. It's just Snatchy. 1v4. And he's gonna try and make something. They've got plenty of money. They know that any economic damage they can do is massive, but he's not going to be ready for Rops. Why would you be ready for Rops in this position? Bombs down on... Ooh, my goodness.
He's Spider-Man. We've worked it out, because that's the only way his senses were tingling. He worked out something was amiss.
No, he's still going to die. Rops is behind, and there's no way. There's no way he checks this. Yeah, he truly would be a man possessed if he just span around and killed. But it's not the case. mousesports find themselves the 3rd round.
He doesn't feel so good.
You're right. Oh, okay, I get it now. Yeah, I know the meme. It took me a while. Oh, yeah. Okay. The double orbs, so they work out. I actually love Chris J on the orb. I think he has times where he's better than Oscar, even though Oscar's meant to be, like one of the best AWPers right now. So keep an eye on that. Chris J going to take his in towards lower tunnels while Oscar watches mid. That's an interesting decision to make. This is that first shot, and now he's in a spot of bother. They know that he's here. Sunny really has to step up in middle, and Snatchy's just going to go and remove his face. Chris J falls in the lower tunnels. So suddenly this double AWP setup will be punished. AGO find themselves with a man advantage. They're looking good in this round.
Yeah, Snatchy, a man many have been talking about with this AWP. Forward to seeing what he can do in this series. As you said, he's facing off against efficient double AWP setups, but not in this round anymore, as Chris J is dead and Oscar is left with his. Rops is going to be sad. mousesports managing to win themselves around in the last, but it could be the one and done if AGO can just trade effectively. And we can see now the CT side starting to aggress over towards that B site. It should net them quite a bit of information. The fact is, I feel like Rops needs to get himself a kill before this bomb goes down. He needs to give his team something to play with. A 4v3 retake is not going to be an easy prospect, especially when you only have a few flashbangs and a singular smoke to get yourself back in. Oscar going to be watching on the cross as well. There is a slight gap. Stico trying to spray through the smoke. Does damage, but he can't quite find that frag. Now we get to see whether or not the CTs can actually make this work. As said, they're already a man down. Saving could be a good option here.
Could be. Right now, it's all eyes on Mr. Cool down towards CT spawn.
Dr. Cool.
Not everyone's a doctor. You need a special education for that one. Here's Tyler going to fall. And ooh, Rops does go down. They're on the bomb. They're on the bomb, but Snatchy doesn't realize. Luckily enough, Groovy's going to bail them out as he does manage to find Stico. That comes down to the wire. They managed to get them off the defuse, though, and that will be the round going the way of AGO once again. They've impressed me so far, Tom. Coming into this as well, in that interview that I referenced earlier, Stico said how he hadn't actually seen much from AGO, and he didn't even realize they're going to be facing them at this portion of the event.
I don't think you would expect that.
He only listed them as one of the dark horses because he kind of got prompted to by the interviewer, saying that they are a good team, they've been doing well. And then he was like, yeah, fair enough, I'll add them onto the list.
Do you think AGO are a dark horse? And then it was like...
He said, like, I haven't seen them play, and then he was like, they've done well. He was like, yeah, fair enough. You've convinced me.
Wow. At the moment, it's mousesports. They need to be the one convincing everybody else, because it is 6-3 at the moment in favor of AGO on Mirage. Now, granted, this is the map choice of AGO, but a map that we've come to see a lot of form from mousesports on. At the moment, at least. It's not going so well. Oscar will at least steal away a kill onto Snatchy. Misses a season. Well, PHR is just going to be looking to try and get that AWP back, which is exactly what he's going to be doing. Oscar will be the eagle to the face of Furlan. Has managed to retrieve himself an AK-47 as well. The remainder, I believe, is being juggled away just so that it can't be found by Rops. Oscar, well, he goes for the peek and ends up losing his head. Now it's left onto Rops. Again, just looking for more of an exit frag and nothing more. But already, AGO, they're going to be on to 7.
They are indeed. And, I mean, mousesports, you know, the few times that I've seen them actually lose series it's the same sort of players that struggle to step up, and right now maybe we're seeing some of that. I mean, Oscar hasn't really been having the game of his life. It's still early days. He's going to have enough money to have the AWP out once more. AGO, though, they are impressing us right now. Snatchy leading the charge. He's a name that we speak about so Furlan as well. Might be bottom of the board with 5 frags, but let me tell you, some of the kills he's had have been instrumental to success. 3K in towards the A-bomb site, and I believe it was in the pistol as well. So he's looked fantastic for this squad. And once again, mousesports having to make sacrifices in this buy. Stika relegated back down to the MP9. I think he's had that more than he's had an M4 at this point in time. And even when you look at the utility, it's pretty bare, all things considered. AGO stacking up early on with Toa over here towards the apartments. The bomb just left back in T-Spawn, now going to get retrieved by Furlan. It looks like he's throwing the mid-smoke. Not entirely sure. No, it's going to go down in window instead. That will allow safe passage from those players in B to make their way in towards lower tunnels. Fallon and Groovy up in the palace. Oscar, timing just not quite there for him. He's going to start to rotate off the angle. Watches instead from jungle.
40 seconds left on the clock. Looking like we're still going to have the split towards the side, but maybe a slightly delayed rotation back into middle. They're trying to sell this fake, and actually, this fake has been sold very well indeed. 4 players over towards the B. Only Rops is left in the back line. Surely they've got to send somebody back towards A and soon, but no. Rops is going to fall. mousesports over-rotating, and well, now it has to come down to the retake scenario, but they've still got to deal with PHR, who's just sat in the back line. You almost have to wonder if mousesports are just going to make the call to actually save here. And yeah, they've been played. AGO have just completely wrecked them.
Indeed they have, Tom. Indeed they have. And yeah, mousesports forced to save. That's such a tricky call to make as well. You really don't want to lose anyone now, especially as you have dedicated to the 4-man save. If Sunny goes down, that becomes devastating. He does get that first kill, but you can see the effect it's had. You have Toa starting to make his way over. There is still Oscar down in CT spawn as well. He has to be careful. Oh, no. Yeah, okay. He's not going to be able to find anyone. Surely not. AGO, an 8th round to their name. An impressive lead right now early on the T side.
Well, they're definitely keeping that mantle of Dark Horse going. Fighting mousesports tooth and nail on Mirage, and well, they've got a bank behind them as well. It's just going to be double op setup coming back in. They could drop a FAMAS over to Rob, so it's not the end of the world. The gamble over towards that B site didn't work, but at least left them in a possible position. Chris J, though, is already going to be dropped. And Furlan's found the opener. So sports are thoroughly surprised by how well AGO have come firing out of the blocks. Furlan is going to kick things off with a double entry on towards this mid position. Rops is down as well. There is no defense left. The fact is, Oscar is all that remains. He needs to ace this round. And the fact is, the bomb may even go back the other way. They've taken control over towards this B site. The fact is, at the moment, they have both sites. Oscar's going to be facing back in, and he's spotted by Furlan, but he's now trapped in the corner. He's got players flanking him from behind, multiple players coming in from behind. The Molotov's going to keep him safe for at least a little bit longer, but Groovy will shoot him while he's hiding in the smoke. It is 4 players surviving for AGO versus that double AWP setup. And at the moment, they are looking like the dominant force. They're looking like they've switched sides. Who are the...
Yeah, meanwhile, AGO, I was going to say they're just the horse. There's no need to prefix them with anything, but I don't know where I'm going with that
eagle.
One. They are. That's what they are, Tom. They're soaring above and beyond our expectations. AGO up 9-3. I imagine this little wait here is that pause has been called in. I think if you're mousesports, that's justifiably so. And this is a pretty grim scoreline for any mousesports fans out there, of which I...
Just a couple.
Just a couple.
Just 2 blokes at home going, ooh.
Also big fans of Symmetry. But yeah, no, I mean, so the Force Bite is going to be coming on in here from mousesports. I don't like this. And actually, no, it looks like it... This is confused. This is a weird buy. Because Chris J has no money. He threw the AWP over to Oscar. And now they're all sort of trickling the investment in. Didn't really look like they were all on the same page with that buy there. And I don't like this. I think if you're mousesports, just take one more eco. You know, you've gone so many rounds in a row now of having these like really limited buys where you've had to sacrifice firepower here and there, or you haven't had full utility, you haven't had kits. And this round, no exception, right? You have 2 players with just pistols, and then you have 2 UMPs and an AWP on Oscar. And don't get me wrong, Oscar's been hitting some nice shots form right now where it feels like he could take on a whole team like we so often attribute to this man.
He's not in the zone.
No, he definitely is not. And, you know, I mean, if they lose this, then they've got no money in the next round, if I'm not mistaken. Perhaps they've saved enough and they've been clever with it so that they can get a buy regardless, but it certainly didn't look that way as the buys came in. So they're going to be heading over here towards middle. Okay, that's nice. Molotov bounces distinguished early on. They've baited out a lot of utility here from AGO. Now Sunny has an AK to work with. There is a chance in this round now. For mousesports, they can't get up through connector over on that side of AGO because Sunny still remains here. Instead, we're looking towards Groovy. Find an opening. Rops lies in wait. Sunny now falls. The top connector. Rop's going to emerge. He's able to... As he gets traded. And down the bomb. Left, and Oscar shuts everything down. Of course, mousesports managed to win this round. Of course they do. It's the buy. Rather the force buy.
They've got more than enough money that they can buy to the end of the half, so there is going to be bombardment of this CT side. They do have one of the best buys we've seen from them all the way through this half. They've got a couple of AKs saved. They've got the AWP onto Oscar. Chris J may be about to look to actually jump. Doesn't have an AWP. Looking to try and actually continue this push. He's going to utilize the smoke. He's not going to be spotted. The Molotov actually forcing Furlan out, which is going to make things fairly difficult for him in his survival effort, as he has there's no push coming in. And there is. Chris J spots him, but is now caught in the open himself, and has saves his teammate, and Chris J looking to try and given a chance. Oscar has woken, and now things are starting to become a little bit more difficult for this T side to actually break them down. They've done damage to Chris, who sort of send him out and let Oscar have players in. The bomb in the meantime starting to make its way up in towards the B apps. Really based off of just trying to find something back into the round, I guess. Hope to make an individual play. Snatchy does actually tag one. Ruby's just opened up. 3 quick kills out of that. And now they're going to start the rotation back, but the fact is, they've kept a cool head in this scenario. Groovy has ended this as just a fake, as now the bomb goes over towards B. Once again, mousesports have been played. They have been completely bamboozled, and they're retaking a site that has no bomb on it.
They're still committed. They are going to be able to find Groovy, but that's it. This round's over. 2v2. And even then, Snatchy's going to go out and pick off Chris J. So Steeko's able to survive with the AWP. He runs off into T. They're going to take that with them in the next round, the last round of this first half. A 10-4 half in favor of AGO. Buy's going to come through. Oscar has more money. He can drop a rifle over to the rest of the team. They're going to have a second AWP out for M4 and a FAMAS dropped from Oscar. So there is a buy cobbled together here for mousesports. But once again, Tom, and this has been a reoccurring theme, they've got very little in the way of utility.
See, if they manage to go 3-0 and sort of get into playoff stage, does it get to the point where people are talking about oh, maybe Virtus Pro will pick up one of their players? Does it get to the point where they just buy the team? Because this team is looking like a solid unit. They've had different individuals stepping up in different rounds. Control, they've been picking apart different players. There's been players that have had highlight performances, but if it's me, if I'm looking at the sort of 2 rosters, I just want this team. I just want these 5. They've already got synergy. Why would you ever want to break that up? Get the checkbook out.
Okay. Go on then.
Talking directly to you, but no. The fact is, I'm liking AGO right where they are. 10-4. That sounded less sinister in my head. We are just going to have mousesports looking to try and get 5. That's their aim here. A best case scenario is a 10-5 CT half. Decent amount of damage done onto Tau with the nade. Got the double op set up in once again. It was successful once. And look at the mid control that's currently being taken by the CT side.
Yeah, I do like that. No one actually here ready to keep an eye on things apart from Snatchy, who is waiting to see if any aggression comes out towards the top of mid. Tau with a tactical dual Berettas purchase. I doubt we're going to get to see him use them, but that's always a grim sign because it means that they're having fun.
It's a shame he's not on the CT side, because then he could have Julies in the kit. The best pistol strat ever to come out.
I actually basically tried doing that once again in that show match, and it wasn't.
In the one round you play.
Yeah, you know.
Is that why you were removed?
That is officially. I'm going to cite that Henry Greer is an awful team manager, an awful IGL, and all he does is bait. But here we go, the push about to come through.
Easy skins.
Pushing in from the ramp. Rops is hid in the corner. They haven't cleared him out, and this could be their downfall. Rops gonna get his head removed. He falls. Oscar now goes down in CT as well, and Chris J. It all falls on him to try and pick up the pieces. My goodness, the pieces. But he dies, and AGO, they keep 5 alive. Blowed into a bomb site is second to none. I haven't seen embarrassed mousesports in that fashion in some time. Not on Mirage.
No, not on Mirage. I can think of it happening a couple of times on Train. Quite worrying. I think it was actually both times I might have been. Well, one of the times I wasn't casting. The other time I was casting with you.
Yeah,
that envious comeback.
We don't think about that one.
But then also QB Fire at the major on Train.
Yeah,
to become legends.
Exactly.
So, if things aren't going well on Mirage, whoo, Train's up next. I will say I've casted a bit of AGO on Train, and if they have a slow start on the T side, be worried, because they are a team that sometimes runs out of ideas on that T side of Train. CT side, though, is pretty solid. So we'll see. The fact is, they've got to close this one out, and a pistol will definitely help them here. 11 and 4 going on to the CT side. It is just going to be straight Kevlar for every single player. There is no utility and no kit for either side, interestingly. Obviously, the kit can't come in on the T side, otherwise they're trying to defuse their own bomb. We are obviously looking at the position known as Mr. Krabs, and PHR ready and waiting, but he's waiting for his doom, as it will be the trades coming in, and effectively for the T side, it's left onto Snatchy alone. As his teammate falls, he's made a hell of a lot of noise, so they will know exactly where he is, and Oscar is going to close him down. So for mousesports, as the second pistol round. Pistols.
That is indeed, Tom. Still, you know, yeah, if you read it at 11-5, both pistols go to mousesports, it sounds bad, but they the anti-ecos here.
With both pistols.
It sounds pretty bad, but you know, we can dig deep and look for the positives here. We're all about positivity.
I do believe in their T side, though. They've got a good T side.
Believe in this man on your screen, Oscar. I believe in Rops as well. I believe.
You believe in everyone.
I do. What a nice personality trait to have.
Yeah, I don't have that.
It's Jay. He is certainly a believer. Ooh, wait, Rops. Oh no.
Ooh, boom.
Manages one. Trades for Groovy. That's now potential way. Hiding. Able to go ahead and drop one. They're going to keep aggressing forward. The catch out.